Hey guys, today we're going to be going over how to solo farm AQ20 as a rogue without using any consumes to farm the bugs before IMS, specifically the larva worms, to get scarabs, larval acid, idols, and BOEs. First of all, let's start with the gold per hour. So I spent 8 hours doing this farm, and this is what I've gotten. So I've gotten 41 larval acid. I got 1 BOE, and it's a pretty good one. It was the dagger. I got 4 idols, and the idols can vary quite a lot in price. In fact, if I show you in Ruins of Ahn'Qiraj and I go to trash, you can see that the idols range a lot in price. And so even though I did get the lowest amount of idols, I did still end up getting 4 in 8 hours. So I mean, 1 every 2 hours. And I got a bunch of scarabs, as well as a little bit of disenchanting materials. So the total for everything here was 67 gold from the idols, 200 gold for the Chris, 13 gold from disenchanting, 205 gold from the larval acid, and 262 gold from the scarabs, which was a total of 747 gold at 93 gold an hour. So I did 93 gold an hour. I want to point out that larval acid is incredibly cheap on my server. This probably isn't likely due to the fact that people are doing AQ20. I also want to mention that some of these materials are hard to sell. Obviously, BOEs aren't always the easiest thing to sell, and scarabs and the idols are not the easiest thing to sell either, and they can fluctuate a lot. So take some of this with a grain of salt. This is about 1 week post gates opening, about 6 days actually. So keep in mind that while this is totaling up to 93 gold, first of all, it hasn't been sold yet, and second of all, not the easiest stuff to sell. However, on your server, if larval acid is expensive, and especially if you can get in and do this AQ20 farm right as the gates open, so especially if the gates haven't opened on your server, you can potentially make way more money than this. Some servers, larval acid is going for 20, even 30 gold, and considering I got 41 larval acid, right, if 205 of my gold from larval acid, I could easily have made 800 gold from larval acid alone if it was 20 gold on my server, and that would have drastically changed the gold per hour, getting close to the 200 gold an hour mark if your larval acid is actually going for 15, 20, or even more gold. So that's the gold. Let's get into the actual run itself. So what do you need to do the run? First of all, you do need Barov Peasant Collar. You need an epic mount, and some form of movement speed increase would be helpful as well. I use just the carrot. However, the riding gloves and the spurs can be helpful as well. In terms of actually killing the mobs, you're going to want ranged weapon and bullets or arrows to pull them, and then maybe some food just to sustain, but you don't need any consumes like protection potions or limited vulnerability potions, nothing like that. So with that, let's get into the run. All right, let's get into the run. So up first, you got to skip these 2 gladiators. They have stealth detection, they have invisibility detection. You can't sneak past them. So you're going to have to either bait them and run around them, or just run straight through them. There's 2 different techniques. One is better with a lot of mount speed. That's the one where you bait them and run in a circle. If you don't have as much mount speed, I almost think it's better just run straight through them. So these have an enrage, and they hit really hard. They move really fast. They have like a 70% move speed. So I'll just go ahead and pull and show you what it's like. There's also swarm guards that patrol through here. If you want to play it safe, you can wait for them and mark them and all that jazz, but I just YOLO the pulls. I take off pretty much all my gear except for 3,000 life, and that's because I don't want to get one shot and I don't want to take durability damage. So I kind of do a compromise where I put a couple pieces in just to hit 3,000 life, and then I am mostly naked so I don't take durability damage. This is the part of the run where you can die, but the good news is the run back takes 1 minute, so it's not that big of a deal. Now right before you pull, you can use a macro and you can mark one of these swarm guards just to see if there's one running directly into you. And in fact, looks like there is, so I'm going to back off. I did just waste my evasion right as I pulled, but you're going to see it's not even necessarily useful to use evasion in all circumstances. If all goes according to plan, we just run right through and we turn, and the mobs don't even attack you. Now, I don't really understand why this happens, to be honest with you. I think it has to do with leeway, but hey, you just run right past them and you vanish. And this happens the large majority of the time. If you do catch a stray hit, which can happen, as long as you don't get dazed, you're fine. Even if you do get dazed and die, again, it's a 1 minute run back, just go again. There is a slightly higher chance for success if you do the strategy where you loop in a circle. So I'll show that here. All right, so this is the second method to do the pull. You kind of come along this right wall until this gladiator pulls. You then hug the wall, and you're going to want to try and stay pretty close to the wall here. And you're trying to bait this guy as close as possible to the wall so that you then can create distance as you're running through here. So now you're going to make a run for the doorway. You can see here, as long as you get down the pattern right, you can do it even without a carrot on a stick. You don't need any mount speed for this one. But if you make mistakes, this one can end up costing you time if you do the turns wrong. So that's how you do it in a circle. The problem with that strategy is if you don't have enough mount speed, it can be kind of difficult to execute. And to be honest with you, because I don't have the spurs or the move speed on my gloves, I ended up just making more errors trying to do that strategy than I end up dying when I just run straight through. So I actually prefer running straight through. I hardly lose any gold to a death because I only have a couple of items equipped, and I usually don't die. I still mainly only die to a durability, or to an enrage from one of the two mobs. Now, I kind of glossed over it, but back there, basically right after you pass the cube, keep an eye out for a swarm guard. There is a spot back there where you can walk right into it, but just distract it or avoid it right around that little pop out in the wall. So I just want to mention that real quick. Now, as we're stealthing through here, there's wasps that can run along this wall. You want to keep an eye out for those. But besides that, you mainly just want to keep an eye out for a swarm guard. And it looks like it might be heading back our way. Let me see if I can find it. There is a swarm guard mob. It looks like we're in the clear right now. So we can actually go ahead and do the skip. Now, I might stay up on that ledge for a little bit just to try and show you what I'm talking about here. So I'll get up here and I'll go in stealth. Here we go. So this is the swarm guard you got to be careful of. Now, we did that skip right there and we jumped up. This swarm guard can pull while you're doing the skip. So you need to keep an eye out for her. And she's really tricky because she'll go to the right here and she'll actually double back. So you kind of have to wait for her to run over to this stone 2 times or else she can get you. Now you're safe when she runs to the center of the room. So keep an eye out for that swarm guard. As soon as you get up here, re-stealth really quick. You can actually pull if you're unlucky and a mob like patrols right here. You can actually pull from up here if you don't stealth quickly. So get in stealth right away and just head on over. Nothing too complicated in that last room. Just hit that jump on your mount. It's just like any jump in WoW where you run, you jump, and you take your hand off the forward button. So that's the main thing you got to keep an eye out for. Now, the next thing you want to do is head on over to the second skip. There's plenty of time for this one. You're just going to essentially run on through. You're not going to take any damage from any of these guys. There's no risk of pulling them. There's no really need to optimize the run either. So you notice I'm not sprinting. I'm not going out of stealth. I'm not trying to be that quick. And the reason is because my vanish is on cooldown still. It doesn't matter how quickly I get to the next skip spot. My vanish is still on cooldown. So unless you're running a special spec that specifically goes for elusiveness and uses the Night Slayer 3-piece bonus, there's no point in rushing or making any errors that'll get your character killed. Just take it nice and slow because you can see here we're approaching the second skip spot. We still have a minute on our vanish. So I'm going to round this corner, make sure I don't pull the gladiators, and we didn't, which is perfect. And now I'm going to set up the next pull. The first thing to worry about is the slime. So I have this macro here that is slash target on the slime, and well, I forgot his name, but as soon as he comes in range, I'll tell you the name of him. But the thing about this slime is he patrols in this next room, and he has stealth detection. And so it's Flesh Hunter's the name. You want to make sure you know where this guy is, because if he does patrol really close to these doors, it can mess up your pull. So I targeted this Flesh Hunter, and I know it's patrol route. I actually know it's going to come really close here, so I'm not going to. I have 25 seconds on my vanish anyway, but I'm not going to go ahead and pull right now because he is close to the doors. Once we get past this doorway, it'll make more sense like what this Flesh Hunter is and why we want to avoid him. But just get a macro slash target Flesh Hunter, hit it, mark him, and try and see where he is and avoid running into him. Now my back is kind of to the wall here. I line up this wall with like the shoulder pad of this first gladiator. I'm going to target the second gladiator, and I'm going to move like ever so slightly from the wall, and I'm going to summon my mount. I just want to make sure it doesn't get fizzled by the wall, and now I know we're good to go. So I'm going to evasion, I'm going to bear off, and immediately start summoning my mount. You need to get on your mount as fast as possible, because it's only a matter of time before this first gladiator pulls. Here he comes. You're going to wait for the second one to pull, and then you run. Now I'm going to run behind this wall, and I'm going to vanish. And you just want to keep moving. In case your Barov is still alive, you don't want them to see the Barov and potentially follow it and get yourself killed. So this is the guy I was telling you guys to watch out for. The Flesh Hunter has a really long stealth detection range. He does see stealth, and you don't want to mess with him. And he's pretty fast. So like I'm even going to cross over behind him. I always cross behind this guy because he is going to go in a loop here and go up the other side. So if I'm slow or if I hesitate, he'll actually catch up to me and get me. So I like to cross over to the other side and let the Flesh Hunter just path on through. So once he gets through this little opening and turns right, then we'll be good to proceed on. So I'm just going to start moving now because I know he won't see me, and he's going to go down towards the right before eventually doubling back. So now if you're on the left side, it's really easy to get on the pipe, but if you're on the right side, you can just slide down the wall too. So you can just fall down here. You will not die to fall damage as a rogue. So you can slide down there or just jump off the tube, and we're going to go right into the water. You don't even have to jump, and you'll land and take no fall damage. Well, I'll scratch that. If you jump, you won't take fall damage. If you don't jump, you'll take damage, but you won't die. So I'm going to chill here. I'm going to go in stealth. Make sure you don't pull Buru. And this guy has stealth detection too, so just keep an eye out for him. Oh, perfect. This is actually perfect positioning for the Flesh Hunter here. So there's a second Flesh Hunter in this area that goes down this ramp, and he has a route where he goes left and he goes right. And you can see he always stops here. So this kind of platform is a safe spot to camp out and wait for him to pass. When he gets to the top of this kind of ramp, he'll go left or right. If he goes left, the loop is a lot longer and we can go straight for the doorway. If he goes right, we're not going to be able to make it in time, and you're going to have to distract, or you potentially might get seen. So in this case, he goes left, so just don't get too close to him, but you'll be able to stealth past him. And while he does a really long range, I do want to show that you can distract him without actually pulling him. Now, if you do what I did and you wait too long, it might get a little close. I was trying to show you guys distract, and I think I missed the distract anyway. But just make sure you get behind this LOS. You can see here we made it with plenty of time, and if he does get you right at the edge of his detection range, he will pause, and as long as you're not like directly running into him, he won't see you, but you do want to stay away from him there. That was actually a pretty close call, so don't wait around and waste time like I did. Just sneak on by that guy. But now you're good. The hard work is done. Now it's all about farming. So if I equip my gear here, I can show you, you're basically going to pull these mobs over and you're going to kill them. So you're going to pull out your gun, you're going to shoot these guys and pull them on over and clear them out. So you've got grubs. You're going to kill every single grub over here except for this one. There's one spawn that you wait till the second safe spot. This whole area is generally pretty safe. This is one of the safer areas to kill these grubs. So you just pull them back and kill them. Not much risk over in this corner of dying. I'm not going to kill all the grubs here in this video to save you guys time, but I will show you guys the safe spots. So that was the first safe spot. You're going to kill most of the grubs. This one grub here, you're going to kill from this safe spot. You can shoot it here. You're going to clear out all of these grubs over here, except for that one back there. That one you're going to catch in the next safe spot. This whole area is perfectly fine. Just kill all these guys. They're all neutral. There's a bunch of grubs back here. As you're stealthing through over to the next spot, this is the least comfortable spot, especially if there's a scorpion here. There's different RNG on some of these packs, and just know that scorpions have a larger aggro radius than these hive collector dudes. So just always kind of favor the side that doesn't have the scorpion. So I see a scorpion here. I'm not going to be pulling right here. I know he'll see me, but I know that this guy, I'm going to have a little more space to pull. So I could likely pull from like here, and I wouldn't even have any issues. So you do have to be careful of the scorpions in particular, but this whole area is safe, and you can kill those guys, and like right about here is safe usually. You just got to be careful with this one. So do be careful in this spot. This is one of the most dangerous spots, and but you can pull quite a few of the grubs over from that corner. So now this is where it gets kind of hard to see, but I'm just jumping on top of that stuff, and I'm just hugging this right wall, and I'm going to get to the next safe spot. Now this like wall here, this whole area up here, and also this area down here, this is all safe, and you can pull grubs into this corner. Now this is another one of the spawns that's RNG. If this is a scorpion, this hallway is not safe. Because it is a drone, this is a safe spot. You can actually pull feeders to here. You can kill them here. You're safe in this half of the room, the left half. If it was a scorpion, you would not be safe in the left half of this area. So the safe spots do change depending on whether or not it's a scorpion. There is a patrol of stingers that can aggro you if you're on the right half of this area. So essentially, if this is a scorpion, you have to be very careful. You're mainly going to be pulling into this corner. You're mainly going to be like distracting the scorpion at max range, shooting one of the grubs, and then hiding behind the corner. So just be very, very careful if this is a scorpion. Again, these are the ones that pull right there. You see how close they get. They would definitely aggro where I was standing here if I was outside of stealth. So you kind of want to be in the back half of this room, again, unless there's a scorpion. So this is another dangerous spot. This is the second most dangerous spot. There's also a dead zone back here where you are not going to have aggro. And obviously, I mean, if it's not obvious by now, what I mean by safe spot is an area where you will not actually pull any mobs and you're safe to fight. So the grubs, you can pull them back here. You will not pull mobs if you put yourself in this corner, and you do have a little bit of space to move. You can move around over here and over here, and it is kind of hard to see with all this stuff, but there's a couple grubs that you can pull into that corner. The next safe spot is going to be over on the stairs. I'm just going to distract these guys. They're getting kind of close here. So this next safe spot is over on the stairs. Now, there is a patrol that actually comes really close. So you'll be safe kind of in this area for a while, but there is a patrol that comes really close and actually stops like right here where I'm standing. So you do want to kind of pull back to almost like this sand part of the stairs if you are clearing stuff, but you're generally going to be safe around this area except for the one patrol that does come here. So this is going to be a spot where you're going to clear a lot of grubs, and you're going to move up and pull some of these middle ones. Now, I always save those for last because it's a little riskier. It's kind of like a game of Frogger. You have to kind of weave through all these packs, pick a spot to pull. Like I could pull right now, and I could run back, and I would be fine. But if I were to hesitate, these guys might come back too quickly and get me. Now, the last safe spot I will mention is over here in this corner. These are all of the safe spots I know about. Share in the comments if you know about any more of them, but this is a safe spot as well. You can pull these grubs over to this corner. The only thing I'll mention, because I haven't said it thus far, the grubs, when they die, they kind of have a poison cloud. So when you're pulling, kind of have a plan of this is where I'm going to kill the grub, and then this is where I'm going to move to after the grub is dead, and not take the nature damage from the poison clouds. You do need to move away from their corpses. But that's pretty much it, guys. In terms of what I usually kill, I do not usually kill a lot of the grubs really close to IMS. A lot of the times I'll go for some of the grubs like out here once I've cleared everything else, knowing that I kind of risk dying. And if I do die, I'm okay with it. It puts me at the front of the instance. It's a 1 minute run back, and I reset and I just do another pull. But I do all of the safe grubs first, and then I'll go for some of the grubs like back there. And a lot of times, to be honest, I do end up dying going for them. If there are better safe spots, I guess deeper, I don't know about them. So for example, you saw how close those wasps got over there. And there's also a pack of wasps that gets really close over there. So there might be spots like really close to IMS that I don't know about, but these are all the safe spots I know about. This is the route that I've had a lot of success with, and give it a go. The lineup and stuff can be pretty precise. It can be pretty exact where you need to position to do some of these skips. So things might be a little different for your character if you're not an orc. Give it a go. Very rarely the Barov peasant caller can kind of behave weirdly. Maybe once every, 20 runs or something, the peasant caller might pull the gladiator too quickly. It might pull the gladiator. It won't pull the gladiator at all. So very rarely that can happen. That has happened to me. And I mainly think that's because I do not line up in the right spot exactly. And then I don't move my character. You can move your feet to kind of get the Barovs to move around and try and pull if they don't automatically pull on their own. But that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below, and make sure to check out my Twitch channel in the description below if you want to see me live doing stuff like this gold farm or PvP raids. But thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.